Hey, this is Jen Johans at filmintuition.com and Film Intuition on social media and Letterboxd. And this is Watch with Jen. Welcome to the fourth installment in our summer 2025 physical media suite of episodes that are devoted to recent Criterion releases. Getting these discs in the mail is such a treat, obviously as a physical media lover, but also to have an excuse to have just the best conversations with some of my favorite people and share them with you on these classic movies that we all love. So I hope you're enjoying these episodes. It's going to be the last one for a little bit. I'm going on summer hiatus. I should be back hopefully sometime like mid-August, I'm thinking, but I just wanted to let everyone know that these episodes are going to be on pause. If you get a special one between now and August, that's awesome. I'm a little bit of a workaholic, as longtime listeners know. Something I also want to point out is, even if you just subscribe for free, a good way to stay up on everything that's happening and you're not really interested in social media. Instagram is where I'm doing most of my posts right now. But the best way to do that is to sign up for the Patreon. Again, even if it's the free subscription, that's cool. You can visit us at patreon.com/filmintuition. And there you're going to find all of my latest little video recommendations that I do, new writing, and posts on what's going on, so that way you can stay up on everything happening if you wish. And speaking of writing, I'm going to be diving into With Nala and I later in this episode. And if you're a fan of the film, I put together an essay. I sort of wrote it without thinking or without planning to write it. So that is on the Patreon as well. I'm very proud of it. It's called The Song Remains the Same, and I hope you dig it. But without further ado, I just want to thank you so much for listening. Thank my guests. Wish everyone a very healthy and happy and safe summer. And let's get on with the show. Take care, everybody. Well, I love talking to my next guest, a good friend of mine, William Boyle, who is the amazing author of such books as Shoot the Moonlight Out, A Friend is a Gift You Give Yourself, Gravesend, and the new Saint of the Narrow Street, which I love. So, Bill, thanks for being here. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, Jen. Yeah, everything's all right. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of like everything considering, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yes.
Yeah, pretty
I'm
much.
doing well, yeah. And I remember when I got from Criterion, I had never seen Jean de Florette and Manon of the Spring. And I remember these like video store boxes growing up in the 80s and 90s. I just had this hunch when I got it. I was like, I wonder if Bill knows these
Yeah.
movies. And Claude Berry, I don't know, I guess anyone who's listened to these shows knows, as Blake and I do you know how big this MFR is in France? So, yes.
I don't know about that, but yeah, I do. I love these movies and the books that they're based on. I got into them. I mean, time is so strange now. I guess it was sometime in the early 2000s. I had an old teacher friend of mine who was kind of like my guy in college, and after that, that he was a Hemingway Faulkner scholar.
Oh, okay.
So I took a bunch of classes with him, and he also, I mean, he had other things too, and other kind of, he was big into folk music and had been a musician for a long time, but he was also a Francophile. And, I definitely at that point in my life, I'd watched a lot of, by my early 20s, I'd watched a good amount of French movies and read some French literature, certainly, I mean, in translation. But he was a literature guy, this teacher, and not a movie guy at all. But he loved these two movies. These were like the
Mm.
only movies that I ever heard him talk about.
That's so
Um,
funny.
yeah, he was also he's a poet, and he'd written a book of poems about springs. He was kind of obsessed with springs,
Ooh, nice.
and he was a kind of, he was a traveled a lot, so he wrote about springs in the U.S., but also springs in France, and I think that was part of it because obviously the story here revolves around a spring. So yeah, he kind of turned me on to these movies, and I rented them and loved them, and soon after read the books that they're based on by the French writer, or obviously again in translation by the French writer Marcel. My French pronunciation's terrible. Pagnol. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
wasn't sure either.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I apologize. I apologize. I will just,
MP, we'll just say, yeah.
yeah, I'll apologize up front for my
Oh, me
butchering
too.
of
Names and
some names
yes.
stuff. And yeah, and he also wrote My Father's Glory and My Mother's Castle, which are great and were also turned into really good films. But yeah, these are just films that had a big impact on me when I watched them 23 or 24 years ago, whatever it was, and have stayed with me. And I think, you can probably see all the reasons why I like these movies.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, Family Saga.
Huge multi-generational
Yeah.
ensemble, like regret. How do you live with guilt and things you've done? And yeah, and what happens over the years. Hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely I rewatched them. I haven't gotten the disc yet, or the disc set yet from Criterion, but it's on the Criterion channel
Oh, nice.
now. So I rewatched them yesterday and the day before, and yeah, I mean, just was struck by, I think, because I hadn't watched them in a while, just how much of an influence they probably really had on me. Just, Family Saga.
Yeah.
The first part, Jean de Florette, is this kind of, I mean, there's a tragedy element to it. Certainly the first part is a tragedy.
Oh my God. Yes.
The
The
second
second
part,
one is devastating at the end. Wow. Yeah.
yeah, and the second one's got that as well, but also, there's
Revenge.
kind of comeuppance,
Yes.
revenge, and yeah, I mean, just an incredible cast. And yeah, I mean, just beautiful movies. I mean, there's elements of um, melodrama in these movies too, which I really love. I mean, they kind of play that. There's the family saga stuff, but there's also this kind of. They remind me a little bit of. Have you ever seen that Italian director Raffaello Matarazzo's movies?
No, the name is not very familiar. What
There's
are
a
the films?
collection. There's a collection of his movies that Criterion put out a while ago, and they might still be on
Okay.
the channel.
All
And
right.
they call them runaway melodramas.
Ah.
And I'm trying to think. Torment is one of them. What? Geez, I'm blanking
Oh,
on.
Torment. We talked about that one.
Oh no, not that. Not
No.
that. Not that Torment. A different.
Okay.
Maybe in fact
Oh
it's
yeah, Italian versus
It's
French.
Tormento.
Hello. Yes.
Tormento is the name of the
Ooh,
movie.
okay.
Um, and then what else? Chains is another one. Um, Nobody's Children, The White Angel, and there's a bunch of others. And they're these kind of like really, they were really popular kind of Italian melodramas. And I was, I saw those for the first time, in recent years, 5 or 6 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I can't remember. And I was thinking like how much uh, Jean de Florette and Manon had in common with them on some level too, with kind of the twists and the reveals and like, finding out in the end. I don't want to spoil too much, but basically, it's hard to talk about these films a little bit without spoiling some stuff,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah. And
but
we're
basically,
warning people up front. We might spoil a bit. Yes, for
this idea
sure.
that like all of this is caused basically all that happens in these films, all the drama and the tragedy and the kind of, you know, the bad deeds on the part of Papette and what's the other guy's name? I'm blanking on his name, Ugolini or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, that, you know, this all stems from like this one lost
Decision.
letter.
Yep. Yeah. And the lost letter and then this decision they decide to make. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. But I mean, and all that comes from the fact that this letter
Letter.
was lost and that it was
Yep.
like that really made Papette who he became. You know, and this kind of bitter, kind of, you know,
Yeah.
capable.
He never knew there was no closure in a
Yeah.
relationship he had had. Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, just that is all really powerful and affecting, and you know, and those guys are. I mean, there's a probably not going to be many people who would call these like crime dramas, but I think there's an element of
Oh,
that because
yeah.
you're watching, you know,
Sabotage.
yeah, you're watching that play out, and you know that cruelty is in Jean de Florette that they, you know, that they kind of perpetrate on Gerard Depardieu's character.
Yeah, they pour cement in a spring to prevent him from having the water that he would need for his family and his crops.
Yeah,
When I was watching this, because of that, I was thinking of a few things. I live in Arizona, and so it's very worrying. Well, I think for everybody, but especially the warmer, the western half of America. Like, what would we do without water, and water being more and more scarce? And so,
yeah,
this idea of sabotage and like people withholding water was very, I think, timely. We just had a book, I want to call it, I think this is right, American Oasis, which is a nonfiction work that came out earlier this year about that very thing, water.
yeah,
So it was making me think of that. And then also this idea of like who works on the land and
yeah,
these
yeah,
people's lives and their livelihoods, because right now, with everything, not to get like super political, but with everything going on, they are arresting undocumented farm workers. And so we have fields of rotting produce because nobody is picking it. And then when you go to the store, that's more scarce. So it just kind of shows you what something like water or what something like, you know, who these people are and their whole lives depend on these things. So when I was watching that, I was like, wow, how did these get really timely all of a sudden? But I think we
yeah,
apply whatever's going on in our lives and the world when we watch these movies. But I was really glad to discover them. Just devastating. I think the first one I would say is like phenomenal.
yeah.
The second one goes down a step, but you need it. It's like the back half. I think originally was this supposed to be like one big movie, I think I heard.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it is. I don't really think of them. I know I've kind of talked to them about them as two movies, but I think about them
Yeah,
as
yeah.
one movie. And it was
Two parts.
really,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and it's really, I think it was initially published as one book. The name of the book was Water of the Hills, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the book was two parts. It was the Jean de Florette part and then Manon of the Spring. And I mean, I love um, both parts.
Hmm. Yeah, they're
Pretty.
both excellent for sure.
Um, Yeah, and what you were just saying reminded me. I had weird kind of thoughts of Chinatown too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great
You
observation.
wouldn't think these movies like are you know
Hmm.
connected to Chinatown in some way, but I thought about that a lot, and just you know,
Oh my God, and the family stuff too,
yeah,
Bill.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
definitely
a brilliant observation.
the
I love
family
that.
stuff, and also just like the I mean the way the corruption kind of you know it extends beyond these two characters who are obviously doing something cruel and vindictive to the town who, you know,
Hmm.
that everybody kind of knows on some level what's going on and remains silent. And there's all this interesting city country stuff, you know, everybody, you know, you're in rural Provence in this story. It's idyllic. It's the most gorgeous place in the world. And
Yes.
and you're seeing behind the curtain like all these kind of petty small town country kind of things coming into contrast with or into conflict with Gerard Depardieu's character, who they're perceiving as like this, this outsider, almost like this yuppie character who's trying. He keeps talking about how he wants to live authentically, and they're,
Yes.
and they don't realize, of course, and again, spoiler alert here, but they don't realize, of course, that he is from this place, that
Yes.
he is from this place because they reject him. So,
Hmm.
without getting to
And he
know.
has a hunchback. So there's like a disability angle. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's really, and obviously, I was talking about like the things that draw me to it. This destiny, fate, these are obviously things that, that I'm always thinking about in my own work. And
Yes.
this is a story about that, I mean, the force of that stuff and really the way these kinds of, on some level, like you want to see kind of justice play out, and it takes a long time. And there's I was mentioning and talking about kind of melodrama earlier, but I don't think, I mean, I think there are elements of melodrama, and melodrama I think is generally kind of a misunderstood term and a misunderstood genre. But I don't think any of that's to say that like what's happening here doesn't feel unrealistic in any way. It feels very real.
No.
This is the way the world operated and operates, like these kinds of secrets and lies that people hold on to, and these kind of you know, missed bits of knowledge or connection or whatever. These are the kinds of stories that I always find myself, so fascinated by.
Yeah, and there's some fascinating things that are happening, with the actors and the way it was made. I guess it was the most expensive, the first one, French film that had been made at the time. And my God, I mean, it made, they said Provence like a international tourist destination or renewed interest because you're looking at this, like you said, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. It's hard to the entire ensemble, which again reminds me of your books and all of the themes as well, like you were saying, fate and destiny and family, all of that. The entire ensemble is phenomenal. Your heart just breaks for all of that. You're so mad at Yves Montand and what Daniel, I always butcher his name, O'Toole. Is doing. Daniel is one of my favorite actors to watch ever.
Yeah, such an
And
incredible performance too. I mean, you know what?
he
To
won the
make you
award.
feel,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to make you feel for that character who,
Yes.
is kind of, you
Doing
know,
horrible things. But
yeah,
yeah.
especially in the first one,
Yeah.
is remarkable. And Emmanuel Bert, I love.
Oh my gosh. I know
He's-
because we had talked on the show actually about the other Torment, the French
right, yeah,
Torment. And actually Emmanuel and Daniel were married for a
yeah,
little bit. So I'm wondering if this is where they met. Just like
yeah. She was
Gerard.
pretty young at this point. I mean, I think this must have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember if this was her.
One of
Her.
her first things. Yep.
Yeah, it was her, like kind of her breakout. I think certainly.
Yeah, and Gerard Depardieu in the first movie, and his actual wife at the time played his
He's so.
wife.
I mean, I know it's
Yes,
tough to talk about. It's like talking about Kevin Spacey or
yes,
something.
exactly.
Yeah,
But he's amazing in this
so good at
performance.
it.
Like I separate that because he's part of these movies weren't made in a vacuum. They're made by
Yeah.
committee, and yeah. Hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, just an incredible cast and um, beautiful, beautiful films. And the books are. It's been a long time since I read the
I was
book.
going to ask you, yeah, are they very faithful?
I have such a bad
Yeah,
memory sometimes, unless I've reread a book multiple times. It's hard for me to remember specifics. I mean, it's been over 20 years since I read them, but I feel like they are pretty faithful from my
yeah.
memory. And I was watching one of the Criterion extras yesterday, that Force of Destiny documentary,
Oh, yes. Hmm.
and Claude Berry. I mean, he loved the books very much, and I feel like
Wanted to honor those,
yeah,
yeah.
he wanted to honor them, and I think it's pretty faithful from what I recall, but definitely worth picking up those books and just yeah, just gorgeous movies. I didn't realize. I guess I didn't realize that it was the most expensive production up till that time. But I mean, you can
Yeah.
see it. I mean, it went into all the right stuff. Like, it's just gorgeous. They probably had a big flower budget, man.
Yes, all the carnations because they're
Yeah.
trying to grow carnations. It's just yeah, it's really lovely. And the second half, is its own thing as well, and what happens to these characters. But yes, so can't recommend these enough. Another film for whatever weird reason, maybe just the way it slowly unfolds and the beauty of it. And it came out around this time, maybe a year or so later, was The Mission.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And I was thinking like those kind of felt like of a piece, or
yeah.
if you like The Mission, you might like these movies.
I
So
don't know.
kind of, I don't want to say like slower cinema, but you watch it unfold and you do need to pay attention to all of these characters, like Bill was saying with the letter that was missed and never received, and some of these secrets. That's the question over the years, what dies with you and what lives on. And yeah, there's just so much to these films for sure. I was glad when I got these. I'm like, this has to be a Bill thing, so I'm glad it was.
Yeah, big time. I love them. Thanks for asking me to talk about them, and it was fun to revisit them because I hadn't watched them in a while, and I've been meaning to. And I don't know. Do you know off the top of your head, like when they were? Obviously, I didn't see them until the early 2000s, and they came out in '86. Were they released at the same time, or were they released months apart? Because they were both released in '86, I think. I don't know if that
Oh,
was America or what the French release schedule was like. I'm curious to know if they were released like a true like sequel. Like was Manon kind of released as a sequel, or was it just released as one movie in two parts?
oh, okay. It looks like, yeah. So Jean de Florette came out August 27, 1986 in France. And then in November 19th, so around Thanksgiving, Manon de Spring. So you had a couple months to sit with Jean de Florette, and
Interesting.
then the next one came out, which
So it's kind
which
of
is
like
really interesting. Yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of
kind of
like the
like
Three
what Kevin
Colors trilogy where,
yeah, or
yeah,
what Kevin Costner wanted to do with
Horizon.
Horizon until that got switched up, which is really
I
yeah,
loved Horizon. Yeah,
I really liked it too.
yeah,
I mean, I'm a big fan of open range, especially, and that's probably
yeah.
wheelhouse.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for doing this, Bill.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jen. Great
Of
talking to you as
course.
always.
Anytime. Well, next up, I'm always very happy to see my friend Sean Burns, the critic from WBUR, and just one of the most insightful, brilliant, funny dudes that I know, and a sweetheart, but we're not supposed to say that because, he's got this tough guy thing happening, but I love Sean. Sean, thanks so much for being here. How are you?
Good. I'm happy to see you, and I'm always happy to talk about this movie. I'll try to
Yes.
keep myself from quoting it too extensively because that requires accent work and can be very.
That's part of the fun with this one, though. I mean, it's a cult favorite. We're talking about Withnail and I, and like who doesn't love it? Though I do have to say, when I was like going around and telling friends, the amount of people who were like, "What is that movie?" It was horrifying, Sean. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to have fallen out of fashion somewhat. I'm glad Criterion's putting it out because I know the theatrical rights are all messed up because there's no prints and there's not a DCP. I went to see it last year at the Brattle Theater and they had to just show the Criterion DVD.
Oh wow. Yeah, this new 4K edition is gorgeous. It sounds amazing because, the music in this thing is very cool. So I was noticing it in all the speakers. I can't imagine they're putting it out in theaters, and I'm sure like in Boston, New York, LA, little limited runs. So I'm sure you'll probably be seeing it soon. But yeah, it is a brilliant film. How many people have you turned on to this movie? Is it one you recommend a lot?
Oh, ever since I was in high school, I mean, this was the tape you'd put on at the parties, you know. This was,
Did
I
people
mean,
kind
I
of
haven't,
wonder at the beginning, like, what are we watching?
yeah, but I mean, it picks up pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, once Danny shows up, they're all in, you know.
Yes. This is interesting because I saw Wayne's World 2 and the before I saw With Nail and I and the Doors, and both of those movies play heavily in that because you have the same actor who played Danny, who's amazing,
He's
and
playing Danny in Wayne's
he's
World, right? It's
he's
just like Danny
yeah,
is,
he's like a
because
roadie in that, and he's telling these like
Mike Myers is such a weird Anglophile that
yeah, these hilarious like stories that just go nowhere about Bengal tigers and brown M&Ms to fill a whiskey jar. Ozzy won't go on stage, and you're just like, it's like he just wandered over from the set of With Nail. Yeah. So when I finally saw this, it was like, oh, I get it now. Yes.
that's funny.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember I was sitting in the theater watching Wayne's World 2, and I was like, well, first of all, this was not funny and nowhere near as good as the first one. And second, what the fuck is Danny doing in this?
Did I ever tell you? Now this is going to veer in weird territory. My experience with Wayne's World 2, scariest experience I ever had in the theater. Like I'm sitting there with my brother, not because of the movie or anything, but sitting there with my brother, and these dudes like came in midway through, sat in the row behind us, and we could hear them talking about they were gonna go fuck somebody up and like loading a gun behind us, and we were just like terrified. It was like, this is Wayne's, what the hell is going on in like suburban
Swing.
Minnesota? Yes. So that was my Wayne's World story. Nothing went down in the theater. You didn't see us on the news, thank God. It was a different era, if this wasn't the 2010s or anything. But yeah, so that was my experience. It was something that I'm sure, like, if Danny would have been there, he would have been able to talk everyone down. Yeah.
I had like a weird progression with this movie because I've been watching it for so long in my life that like when it started out, I really identified with the Paul McGann character.
Yeah.
And then like 15 years ago, I realized, oh no, you're with no. And then watching it again recently, especially now that I don't drink anymore, I was like, oh no, the only one left for me is now I have to become Monty.
You're Uncle Sean.
Yeah, the progression through these characters is not a promising one.
It's kind of like when you watch The Graduate, and then over the years, you're like, boy, they were just really shitty to, well, they were shitty to Mrs. Robinson, but like, the more you watch these, the more yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah, with the Marwood character. Did you know, here's the question, like, when did you know that was like Franco Zeffirelli?
Not till like about 10 years ago, I think. And then that made it so
Yeah,
much funnier.
it really did, right? Oh my
I
God.
have entire friendships based on this movie. Like my friend Ali Arakan, the critic from Istanbul,
Yeah,
like he and I
yeah.
would just quote this movie incessantly to each other for like years. Our every email or text or anything started with "you terrible cunt."
I was just gonna ask you, what are like the touchstones for the movie? That one.
Yeah, oh yeah. Terrible news. We've run out of wine. You know, we would work
Yes,
it into every situation. But it's really funny because it's really a sad movie about.
it is. I
I mean, I
remember.
read your beautiful essay. I don't know how much you want to get into that on here, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Last night I just kind of wound up writing an essay, but it is a sad movie, and I remember the first. I think I saw it for the first time maybe 15, 20 years ago. And, I reviewed it, and when it started out, it's like, what is this? This is like, Gonzo, like, what the hell is going on? And then it becomes a couple different things. It's like a British sex farce. And then it becomes like the saddest thing ever about the end of friendships or people moving on, like the end of American Graffiti, which is a movie you and I both love as well. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
so clear that, this is the end of the 60s. It's, that
Yes.
whole, the dream's over. You got to get a haircut. It didn't work out.
I know. Yep. You gotta go to work.
And some people don't, and they end up standing by a graveyard in the rain reciting.
Yes, I know. Looking at wolves. Yes. My
I think there
friend,
was one day I was working at my old movie theater and I was reciting that speech from Hamlet, muttering it under my breath while I was cleaning a theater, and there were 300 people waiting to get into it. And I was just, man, delight's not me. And I was like, oh, I really am with them.
you really have to do that in front of girls though, Sean, because like that's hot. So that's your new approach. Walk
All
around and
right.
just like do that scene from With
Just
Now.
mutter Hamlet soliloquies.
Yes, I know. No, I know a lot of actors that love this movie and do the same thing with their relationships and friendships, like Alessandro Nivola and millions of them. They're like, "Oh my God, Withnail was our movie." But I think it was maybe the age group, our generation, but also just it's a movie that, yeah, if you like the arts, if you're a little strange, it's a perfect movie for that. Yeah.
I heard a funny quote. Seth Meyers was talking about it just last week, I guess because of the 4K. And he was saying that it's like the best movie about drinking because when you're watching it, you either never ever want to have a drink again or you want to get as hammered as possible. And either reaction is valid.
Yeah, again, like, which character are you? Yes.
When I found out, I mean, the most shocking thing was to find out that Richard E. Grant doesn't drink.
I love Richard E. Grant. Can you believe this was his first goddamn movie? Like,
I know.
what on earth? Yeah.
I know
It's
what Bruce Willis was obsessed with it. That's why he's in Hudson Hawk.
for real? Wow. See, that's surprising to me now. Like, Bruce Willis isn't somebody who would immediately put, although he was in such a highly verbal show with Moonlighting. My God.
Yeah, he was a stage actor
Yeah, yeah.
and an alcoholic. And I mean, it
Yeah,
all lines up.
it does. Yeah, what are you talking about, Joe Hans? Come on. Yeah.
The long hair and being British threw you off, but otherwise it's.
Yeah. It's a total Willis joint. Yes. Oh my gosh. So, okay, other movies that you pair with this, like if you're programming at the Brattle, what are you putting with this one?
Oh God, I mean, this would be. I mean, it's strange. Maybe like Y Tu Mama Tambien would be a good one, right? Because it's
Ooh, I like that. It's total
that
flip
same
side.
end of a friendship, sort of.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
I like that. That is a creative pull. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's something so wistful and
Yeah.
sad about the end of the movie, but it's such a good time while you're watching it. And I mean, like what Richard Griffiths, not Richard E, but Griffiths, Uncle Monty.
Too many Richards. Yeah.
He ended up in the Harry Potter thing, right?
Yes, yeah, and the History Boys, and yeah, doing those movies, and I
I
love
remember
Griffith.
watching one. I mean, those Harry Potters are all a blur to me. I had no idea what the fuck was going on with any of them. I viewed them and like because I hadn't read the books, and those movies aren't made for people who haven't read the books. I found
Yeah.
them gibberish. So I ended up like bringing people who had read the books that could fill me in. By the last one, when they were killing people off screen, I had to have like a translate, like a Harry Potter whisperer with me. So they were like, "Mad Eye Moody is dead." I'm like, "Who the fucking should go? It's Brendan Gleeson." I'm like, "Oh."
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, that's funny. Recently, okay, at Poison Pen where I work, we have a new employee who's very sweet, and she's obsessed with Harry Potters, and so she was making everybody take this, which house would you be quiz, and my coworker Patrick was like, "What should I text that would be like a hilarious answer to this?" I'm like, "Oh, just say I got Slytherin. Is that good?" Because he had no idea like about the book. So we go through all like 35 questions. He fucking gets Slytherin. So it's funny. And then he's like, "Jen, am I a sociopath?" I'm like, "No, no, no." And so I was telling him about the Rickman character. And then it's like, wait a minute. I know way too much about this crazy universe. We need to like, let's start talking more about Withnail, basically.
Well, when he showed up, and I was like, they shouldn't let Monty around children. I mean, I don't know if anyone is listening to this who hasn't seen the movie, but there's like
He's a total
45 minutes
lech.
just
Yeah.
this fat old man trying to rape Paul McCann.
It is so disturbing. Like, oh my God. And he's so British and so like just, trying everything. Okay, I'm going on the couch and like you're going. He's trying all these polite moves. And, dude, I love that line about he would go to New York. That's such a good line.
Was it like, I'll have you through burglary or something like that?
It's disturbing as hell. Yes. Oh,
Also
man.
incredibly funny.
It is. I mean, it sounds horrifying. People watching are like, what is wrong with those people? Watch the movie, you guys. Yeah. God, can you
Even he has
imagine
that
like
great line
Gen
about
Z
how
watching this though? Oh my God. But anyway, that's a whole other thing.
that's why none of them drink.
Yes. You know what? This would scare people straight. This is a good movie for that. Like, yeah. Oh man, keep your wits about you. Yes.
What was Monty say? Like, there's always every actor reaches the sad point when he realizes he'll never play the Dane.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yes, I know. Uh, they're so great in this movie. I love it. What did you think of other ones that were, I was not wild about, oh, I'm gonna blank on it. The other one that Bruce Robinson did
Oh, how to
with,
get ahead in advertising?
yes, that one was
I
not
like
my
that
favorite.
one.
You
I
did? Oh,
didn't
okay.
love it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. But then like his other, I don't know, he went off in a weird direction. Like
He
there's,
kind of did. Yeah.
and I was so excited when he was doing the Rum Diary because, you know, it was Hunter
That's
Thompson's first
true. Yeah,
book and it
yeah.
was
Oh,
like a
that's a
similar
perfect
age.
match. Yeah.
Disillusionment. It was all basically like, I mean, if you read that book, that's like Hunter's origin story about how he became cynical and realized the world was shit.
Yeah.
And then they made the movie and it was like, first of all, they cast Johnny Depp to be like the 25-year-old Hunter Thompson. So he's like twice as old as he's supposed to be. And then like Amber Heard was the girlfriend. So, I mean, that movie
So that
started
movie is all
shit.
messed up now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a cursed object now. I don't know if you can find it.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and absolutely like nothing in the film worked. And I remember that was like my most anticipated movie of that year because I was like, this is the perfect story. This is the guy. And I read an interview like Robinson had started drinking again just to make the movie.
That's not good. Yeah.
It was probably just to deal with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that film ended up it was delayed like a long time. I remember, and then it finally like opened
Yeah.
up like one of those April graveyard slots. And I was like, oh, this isn't going to be good, is it?
No, it was kind of that era where like he did The Tourist and it's like, what was
Yeah.
that movie? And it like got nominated for a Golden Globe and you're just like, what? Yes, not great. Oh my God. But I do, when you're talking about this era, back the Withnail era, handmade films, George Harrison's company, like the year before, man, they made Mona Lisa, which is
Oh,
one of
I
the
love Mona
best.
Lisa.
I know, one of my faves. Yeah. I'm weirdly into Bob Hoskins. I don't know. I went through a Hoskins thing there for a little bit. Like a Columbo thing. Yeah. The pandemic did weird things to us all. No.
The thing that always sticks in my head about Mona Lisa is to take the most emotionally vulnerable scene an actor has given, like, you know,
Yeah.
ever, and put him in those stupid novelty sunglasses during the scene.
Yes. Yet it works. Yeah.
It adds like 10 levels because otherwise you'd be like, oh, the movie's pushing like this tough movie is
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
pull the heartstrings now, but like putting the stupid sunglasses on
I know. That
shifts it
scene.
just
It,
enough direction. So it's like, you're not manipulating me.
yeah. I know. That scene like cuts so deep that you're like, I don't know if I should be watching this. It's like, you know, when you're in public and you're seeing a breakup go down and there's nowhere to go because you're at the next table in the restaurant and you're like, I shouldn't be here for this. Yes.
Right. So you
Yeah.
need the pink sunglasses to
You
balance out.
do. That helps. Yeah, put the pink sunglasses on. Yep.
Yeah, I watched that documentary about the handmade films and it was, I mean, they did some great stuff, but I mean, I think the idea was that they didn't have to worry about money.
Yeah.
So they just made good movies.
Imagine that. Yeah. Maybe this
And
will like inspire people. Yeah.
nobody's ever tried that business model again, weirdly.
I know.
Like, first of all, you need a beetle to just write you checks.
Exactly. Paul, what are you doing? Come on. Yeah. Pick up that checkbook. Yes. Uh, no, I was so glad that you wanted to talk about with Nell, and I with me. You're gonna have to come back for another topic, so like start thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Anytime. You got
Putting
my
them on the
number.
spot. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Sean.
My pleasure.
Well, I'm thrilled to have my buddy Blake Howard with me today to talk about Chungking Express, Wong Kar-wai, California Dreamin', the whole thing. So, Blake, this was my first Wong Kar-wai movie back probably like mid 90s because Quentin
Oh my God, you shocked
Tarantino.
you shocked me then, Jane, when you're like, this is my first. I'm like, now? This can't be your first. Okay, cool. Sorry. Yes. Back in the
Yeah,
90s. Got
back
you.
in the
Okay.
day.
Back
Yeah.
in the day. I was going to say, it's
Yeah.
not now. It's
I
not
want
now.
to say like 95, 96 it came to video. So I'm dating myself. How about you? Was this one of your first?
I'm extremely, well, sorry. Firstly, thank you for having me. My love of physical media knows no bounds. It even jumps my own ridiculous output of podcasts come all the way over to you. But it's so nice to be back on Watch with Jen. I love you, and I
Always.
love you, and I love your great, really voracious and passionate audience. They're awesome. Wong Kar-wai, he was late to the party for me. I'm trying to think, like, at this time, 94, probably 95-ish, it would not have been on my radar. I had like a very lucky connection. I've talked about it lots before on my show. Just to summarize, my brother worked for a movie distribution warehouse.
Right. Yeah.
And back in the day, we didn't have as much international stuff come through there. And he used to get, oh God, now I'm dating myself, free VHSs that they would send to video stores to make the video store decide how many copies they want to buy. They wouldn't do that with Jurassic Park, but they would do that with maybe a Chungking Express. And so in Australia, we do have like a really great secondary channel to Asian cinema because of our proximity to Asia as opposed to the States. And so we didn't necessarily, and we have a huge multi-ethnic Asian population, like Southeast Asian population all through Australia, whether it's Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Indian, you name it, huge population. So we've kind of got a bit of like a weird triangulation position culturally. You've got like America telling us, this was so good, something pops internationally, and that sort of elevates it from that stage. But then you got locals, and it was probably like the first time I can probably recall like hearing about it. We have a television channel, a free to air channel in Australia called Special Broadcasting Service, which is it's a channel that caters to all of the like multi-ethnic population. So there's like Greek news, and there's like international shows, and then there's different news items that are focused on the sort of, I guess, our very multicultural Australia. And they used to play late night movies, and some of them, like, that was like my vein of originally Asian cinema, because they would just show everything. Lady Snowblood, like 9:30 at night, like all these kind of movies would just be on. But I'm trying to think if Wong Kar-wai ever broke into that. It would have taken me much longer. I reckon I heard about him. I would say this is probably my first two, but I heard about him late, and I probably didn't get it. When I watched this movie, two massive things stuck out for me. I was like, firstly, the sexiest shot ever composed of like of Tony Leung with his
the
little
airplane.
with the little airplane and his very attractive lady in the background. I'm like, that's like that's the sexiest shot ever composed. And then when you think about Wong Kar-wai, it's like, well, he kind of did all the sexiest shots ever composed. Like that really resonated with me this time. And the movie as a complete earworm probably really resonated with me with just the way that people talk and how lines get repeated over the collapsing stories and the parallel stories. But yeah, this would have to be one of my first because, I can't think of anything else I would have seen before, except for maybe In the Mood for Love. I can't remember. But I'm super late to the Wong Kar-wai party. But I do love Asian cinema, particularly Hong Kong cinema. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating nexus. China as a huge, international entity is amazing. But Wong Kar-wai is like kind of brilliant in every way that everyone's already said it. There's already great Criterion essays. Amy Taubin wrote about it. It's like the talent. It's like talent's unfair, right? Inherently, You know, we have some very talented friends.
Yes.
In their fields, writers, film critics, and like sometimes you do something and you chip away at it and you work at it, and then like you meet someone else who does an adjacent thing, and they're just so exceptionally talented, and his talent and instincts are kind of unmatched, and it's just unfair. It feels unfair. It feels unfair what he can do on his budget, what moods he can evoke, what tempo he wants to create. It's just brilliant. And it just feels like photographs that you're in a rush to take that somehow miraculously pop on. It feels like, it feels like bad memory. Like, and I don't mean bad as the subject of the memory is bad. It feels like memory that's fleeting that you're trying to grab onto. The whole movie feels like that. It feels like daydreaming through your life. I think that's what really resonates. Because
or like blowing bubbles outside when you had those soap bubbles and you're trying to catch them. Yes.
Yeah, you just
very
just
romantic. Yeah,
it's fleeting. He captures this like fleeting energy that's so crazy. And then it stops and focuses on these little small moments that have huge like life altering kind of inflection points for people, and he's able to balance that. And it also is just kind of completely and utterly silly, which is so fun. So yeah, this is it's my roundabout way of saying that I really am drastically underqualified to talk about the impact of both his technical brilliance, his socio-political brilliance at the time, just like this feeling of like listlessness and malaise and a lack of meaning that is kind of like permeated into the 90s. But I'm also just, I'm just staggered at his instincts. I can't believe he made this. Like, I can't believe how good it still is. It's just so good.
It really is. It was made when he was working on Ashes of Time. It was supposed to be a quickie, a cheapie, and it's gorgeous. I'm kind of like you. I'm from Minneapolis, which had a huge Asian population. We used to trade videotapes in our high school, and it was kind of funny. Like, that's how I was exposed to Chow Yun-fat and John Woo and a bunch of Hong Kong cinema originally. And then when I moved to Phoenix, it was like, where's all my friends? Because this city does not have an Asian population. But a lot of people love, of course, Asian cinema, and luckily it caught on. But this was also, the last years with Hong Kong, essentially, before that changed. It's catching on to, there's American influences. There's so much to this. A lot of great things you were saying. It does feel like you can tell his influences with Godard, of course, Gloria, the Cassavetes movie with the wig, and that homage. Just, these things. I know he also loved Murakami and these tales of human connection. I feel like his collaborations with Christopher Doyle were just unmatched. They're so beautiful. Like you said, the sexiest shot. And it would be the sexiest shot for anybody else in their career, but that's all he did pretty much.
Yeah.
They're all swoony.
You would frame it, you would frame it on your wall if you did it and you're a filmmaker. You're like, I did it, guys. I did it. I think I did one of the sexiest shots. And there's a whole other movie we're not mentioning.
Yeah, I don't like to say, or I'm not one of those people who's like, it's a vibe or it's a mood, but that's kind of what you get.
That's very you.
Yeah, I'm not one of those. But when you're looking at Wong Kar-wai, he is definitely a vibe guy, a mood guy. This movie makes no sense in a lot of places.
No.
You have Tony Leung talking to a dish towel and stuffed animals. I kind of think it would be stronger, as much as, the first part is interesting, the noir storyline. You could pretty much exercise that and make the rest of the movie, make a whole movie, the Tony Leung, Fei Wong storyline, because it is the bigger bulk of the film. And you could build up the flight attendant part. I'm saying that might make it more cohesive as a story, but as a collection of these ideas of heartbreak, of things that are fleeting, connections you think you make being 0.01 centimeters from somebody that might change your life. That is definitely this movie. So I guess in this thing you'd say it's a vibe. Yeah.
It's a huge vibe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, but so Chungking Express comes out in 94. Obviously then
Yeah.
Ashes of Time, which he was making
Yep.
at the same time, all came together pretty quickly after that, after this sort of detour. But Fallen Angels, and this is one of the things that I read, and I never knew this, is that Fallen Angels was actually the film that was the third of a triptych in this.
Yes.
So it's really fun when you watch the kind of these parallel stories of like lovesick cops.
Yes.
That the Fallen Angels is actually the third one that was meant to be there. Yeah, what I love about the first one, it is the most Godard of it, because it's like these things don't need to make any narrative sense, and that's the brilliance about. And I think sometimes, like avant-garde cinema and things that are just trying to evoke emotions without, or they're trying to evoke emotions without necessarily anchoring it to character or to tell like standard narratives.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Godard that I think that Wong Kar-wai like starts to reach is that Godard could do that and almost like thread it around just tiny enough morsels of life so that you were really anchored into that, and then you could just go with all of the other like impulsive kind of diorama of influences in his brain that he could just like just splatter like, you know, Jackson Pollock into a film, and it would all kind of hang together. It's really hard to do. And sorry, it's not hard to do. It's really incredibly hard to do well. So yeah, he does that really good, and I kind of just like the nonsense of it, and I like that it's just like seeing a bunch
pineapple.
of like the pineapple first, but just I was howling at just these Indian guys who were like basically wearing very little amount of clothes, just sputtering around and watching as they were trying to be corralled like, you know, kind of toddlers. I was just howling, and it didn't need to make sense because it was funny and weird enough. And like almost the love story is like not the story there. Like it just kind of,
it's really not. Yeah.
It's really not. Like the story is like, what the hell's happening with this mysterious woman with the blonde wig who never takes off her sunglasses. And then it just turns into like, you're just thinking that, oh, she's lacing these people with drugs. They disappear. It just seems also nonsensical that like I really get tickled by it. It's kind of perfect. And then that's the same in the second half of the story, where just like drugging a person to clean their house for them and change shirts and things. It's just kind of like completely mad. And if you wrote down what happens, people would think you were writing this story of like some weird like Sliver or something, you know, like some crazy movie where someone's being manipulated by someone. But this kind of is done with such like heartfelt sweetness and lack of harm.
It's like Bringing Up Baby or one of those movies that makes or like A Midsummer Night's Dream, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't need to make sense. But yeah, I was really particularly tickled this time I watched it around. Like I watched a beautiful Criterion, and it was kind of stunning. It's just
I'm mixed on the color correction. I really don't like what he did with the color gradient, kind of making it greener, because you need the earth colors, you need the blues, you need the pops of reds, the yellows, the vibrant yellows of Fei Wong. Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say this, I just wasn't familiar enough with his oeuvre for it to have had a huge impact. I mean, I haven't picked up the whole set. Right? So just for everyone, I haven't seen the whole new set, but I did hear like that was the reaction. People didn't like the color correction. They didn't, you know, that, and so that immediately put me off from getting the set. So I do just like we're asking, just like you're asking, we're asking you to listen to this. I listen to people who say this is not the set to get, or this is the set to get. So I was kind of like, I don't really want to do it, but I think that I'm a huge proponent of, I don't care what you do with your movie, just give me every version.
That's the right approach. Like when the Miller's Crossing, when they got rid of one of those Jesus Toms, and you're like, no, I want the Jesus Tom. Put both cuts in there. Yeah.
With the greatest respect and love, and what Jen knows is whenever I say with the greatest respect, I'm about to say something profoundly disrespectful to follow it. My favorite movie of all time, Heat, I can't watch the new 4K version of it. Drives me insane. And And it's because Michael Mann, who is a genius, went back and did an amazing job like re-rendering it, and then did some very, very, they're kind of, for someone who is not a lunatic, they're imperceptible, as in color correcting changes and etc. But for someone like me who is a lunatic, I can notice everything that's different. And they did take away the tiniest line where Pacino says, in the whole "it's a great ass" scene, they take away ferocious, aren't I? Ferocious, aren't I?
Why would you take that away?
I'm like, no, this is sacrilege. And so, Michael Mann,
somebody
genius,
grab
also,
the Shrek phone, call Michael Mann, and be like, we need that ferocious line back.
Michael Mann, genius, also sometimes wrong.
Give us every version.
I just want every version. I don't care.
Yeah, you can fuck with your movie. It's your movie, but
do whatever you want. But if there are 3 versions of Ali, I'm going to need them all in the same set, right?
Yeah.
If there's 2 versions of Black Hat, I want them in the same set. 2 versions of Mohicans, I want them in the same set. Like, you just got to understand that people who are listening to a physical media show like this, we just want them all. I want them all. It's like the same as how frustrating it is that the original Star Wars in their original form that were upscaled have never been put on a transfer. It's just like, why do you think people don't like buying things? If it's what they love, they'll buy it. So, I'm sorry I interrupted. You did have a recommendation where you can get non-color messed with versions?
I was going to say, if it's still available, you definitely want to pick up In the Mood for Love, the single disc, because that is the older because that's the one that really kind of, I think, broke everyone's heart, was you need those vibrant pops of color. That's, if I had to choose one wardrobe in all of cinema I want all of her dresses. And, it's you can't mess with these beautiful shots. So,
no, he's kind of underappreciated. I still kind of feel in a silly way he's underappreciated.
I do too.
I'm glad that Criterion
always showed respect. They knew right away.
Yeah. They knew right away. Yeah, they sort of got it right away. But yeah, I don't want to harp on any fans' love, because again, like I said, Jen, I feel drastically inadequate to be a great person to speak about it.
But I would we're just fans. Yeah.
But yeah, now you've got, this is what, see, when someone does this, Jen, finding out of print Blu-rays.
I sent him down a rabbit hole. Oh no.
I will tell a really beautiful story about one of our mutual friends who we love, Jordan Harper, is that Jordan heard me say that I couldn't find a copy of Manhunter on Blu-ray, the disc that was out of print.
Oh, that's right.
It was driving me insane. And then I found them and they were $200 on eBay. And I ended up finding one that was $120 and I bought it. And at the same time as I bought it, I got 2 discs in the mail. One was from Jordan Harper and it was his personal disc. He's you should have this. And then the one I bought, and I literally got Jordan's address and I just sent it straight back. Thank you very much with a nice note. But yeah.
I remember that time you ordered something off eBay. I think it was Michael Mann related, and we thought it was a Blu-ray. And when I opened it in the mail, it was just the outer cardboard case for the disc. And I'm like, I don't think Blake wants this. Is this what you want? You're like, those jokers. No.
Yes. Jen did receive a slipcase in the mail from me one time because they wouldn't ship to Australia. And then I had to go back to the seller and be like,
what the hell?
I don't want the slipcase, you freaking maniac. I want the disc.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. Adventures in collecting movies. But Blake, I want to thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. We're not experts, but we're fans. We love Wong Kar-wai, and this was a lot of fun.
I would just say you can't ever be experts at every single film or regional subset, right? But I think that
our affection.
What's cool, you're gonna hear that particular affection, but particularly Chungking Express is such a beautiful little time capsule of that kind of very, very American new wave, like Tarantino, Rodriguez, Kevin Smith, those kind of guys are all doing this.
Absolutely. At the same time. Yeah.
Super hyper referential filmmaking mixed with kind of like listlessness and directionlessness of that early 90s. And they do that so beautifully. And this is just that. This is the most like overt rendering of that. And it then harkens back to French New Wave because all of those guys were all influenced at some point by those films. So yeah, I don't purport to be an expert, but I would just say I just love this movie. It's a delight. It's so easy to watch. It's the easiest movie to watch. It's as far as like, and I'm not saying like I don't want people second screening and watching their favorite movies like constantly on their phone, but it's like such an easy movie to just be absorbed in. Like you put it on and it's just like
background of a party, whatever. Yeah. It's great wallpaper. Yeah.
It's great wallpaper as well. Like apart from being completely silly, but it will capture your attention. It's it's kind of like the good game of football that's on in the background at the bar that you're talking to your friends and then everyone just stops talking and starts watching the game. Like it's that kind of, it just grabs your attention. You don't know what it is, but there's just something about it, and the more that you watch it, it's really amazing. So, look, always great to talk to you, my friend. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Happy to see you and talk to you always. Love you so much, and watch with Jen, and I'm sure you've got some other great guests on here nattering on about physical media too.
Yes, love you too, and you're always welcome back. Open door policy, you know that. I also want to thank everyone for listening, especially my patrons who support the show and help fund my research, equipment, film rentals, RSS fees, and more for as little as $1 per month at the Film Intuition Patreon, which is the home base for the show. Other ways you can support the podcast are by sharing, reviewing, and subscribing to Watch with Jen wherever you get your podcasts, and also checking out the cool merch store hosted and created by our talented logo designer, Kate Gabrielle. You can find the merchandise store, including shirts, tote bags, stickers, and more by visiting filmintuition.com and clicking on the shop link. The show's theme music is Solo Acoustic Guitar by Jason Shaw and is available in the Free Music Archive. Well, until next time, please take care and happy movie watching. This is Jen Johans at filmintuition.com and Film Intuition on social media and Letterboxd. And this is Watch with Jen.